What we got?
I have a question. High pressure situations in the game, those are stuff that you guys have always practiced. Was that last play by John Norton one of those pressure situations that you guys have been working on?
We practice those situations, whether it's a third or fourth down, having to make a stop on defense. Offensively, you practice, the last 2 minutes or the last minute, whatever the situation is. So, yeah, in a way, yes. We knew we wanted to put some pressure on Boise. Talking with Nick, the last few times, we were going to try to change the tempo on the quarterback and bring some people in his face. And to do that, you got to play tight coverage, and John did a great job on that one.
As a head coach, you feel comfortable with the program making this push for one player to be in the conversation for the Heisman Trophy?
Well, it's kind of the way of the world now. I think Derek will be the first one to tell you that it's never about him. It's always about our team. But at the end of the year, they're gonna have a Heisman Trophy candidate, and I think his value to our team is as high as anybody in the country. Their value to their team. The guy's a winner. It doesn't matter what the score is. He's going to find ways to win a football game, and he's got a lot of talent, but he's got a lot more heart than that. And in today's day, you got to launch out Heisman Trophy campaigns, I guess. I think Derek's the kind of guy that can handle it, and it won't affect him at all. So I'm usually not an individualistic guy, because it is always about team. But in Derek, that's his core.
After such an emotional win, how do you prevent a letdown?
It's easy. Every week, it's all about going 1-0. And our guys know our goals are out ahead of us. Whether we won or lost that game, our goals we're still going to be out ahead of us, and that's to win the Mountain West Conference. And we've got another conference game this coming weekend on the road at a place that we've embarrassed ourselves at. So we'll get our guys' attention really quickly on Monday when they come back in Monday morning about putting this one behind us and having to go on to the next one, because that's what you have to do.
Could you talk about the timing of, why now start kind of making that push for Carr? What kind of prompted it now?
Well, I think what you try to do is capitalize on momentum. Having a nationally televised game, playing the way he did. We broached this subject during the summer about what would it be appropriate, what would the timing of it to be appropriate. And I said, at the Boise game, knowing it was going to be a nationally televised game, I said, if we're undefeated and Derek plays like we think he's, going to play, then absolutely I would support it. I think it does nothing but bring great light on our football program, on our school, on the Valley. And so you weigh all those things. In an ideal world, worry about all those things at the end of the year. But I think they're important. They're important to our program nationally, and so that's why it all came together for this weekend.
Yeah, why is that? Why is it that?
Why is the world the way it is? It's because of you guys.
Why do you feel that Fresno State needs to take a proactive approach in getting Carr's name out there for the Heisman Trophy?
Well, I think being on the West Coast, playing most of our games at night, I think it's difficult sometimes for people to realize how good of a football player Derek is. And to get in the national media, I think you have to do these kind of things. And our media relations staff, Jason Clay and Ryan Reggiani and Paul, they came up with a great plan for this. They were very proactive in the summertime, thinking about, hey, we have an anticipation for what this year may, fall out to. And if so, what do you think? And I agreed with them. If we'd have lost any of these games, I said, we're moving on. And again, if it was a different player, if it wasn't Derek, his maturity, he can handle these things. And, who knows how it's going to turn out, but like I said, I think he's as valuable to this team as any player in the country is to their team.
Going back to the game, while watching the replay last night, after Juice's final touchdown, you had like an "I told you so" look on your face. Would you say that that confidence level was really high, that you guys were going to win it?
I thought the whole time we were going to win it. I don't think it was an "I told you so." We talked to our team. It's going to be a 15-round fight. We're going to make one more play, and we got a great fight from Boise. They're well coached. There's a reason they've won as many games as they have. They've got great players, great competitors. I thought Joe Southwick was extremely impressive. He got knocked down, got back up, I mean, it was really two teams of outstanding competitors, and I think the difference in the ballgame, realistically, with Derek Carr and the Red Wave. I mean, our guys were pumped that last drive, and then when we had to go on defense, and that was the difference in the ballgame.
Coach, you maybe have to slightly alter some of the coaching, some of the play calling, some of the substitutions now that, you have Carr in the talks for this Heisman, as far as playing time and trying to.
No, there's no concern for that. We're going to play just like we were, whether he's up for the Heisman or not. That is never a factor. Sometimes you're in games and someone will tell you, hey, so and so it was 2 or 3 catches away from this or too many. I really don't care. We're trying to win a football game, and if you do that in the course of the game and you get whatever accolades and stats, great. But we're just trying to win a football game.
How much do you feel that Fresno State's overall team success, maybe even going undefeated, will determine if Carr gets considered even as a finalist?
I think that's probably the only way, realistically, he gets a chance to be a finalist. And Derek and I have talked about this. To me, a guy that wins a Heisman Trophy has to positively affect his team. And the number one trait in a quarterback is, do they win? And I mean, twice in 4 weeks, or no, we only had 3 now. Twice in 3 weeks, we're down in the last couple of minutes, and he's led our team to either tie it and then win later, or this last week to win it. And to me, that's the ultimate measure of a quarterback. And if you can do that consistently through the season, I think that speaks very, very well of you, and it gives you some ammunition for why you ought to be in that conversation.
Anything else?
Coach, now that you've had time to digest it, what does it mean personally for you to be the head coach of the Fresno State Bulldogs after beating Boise State?
I'm just extremely proud of these guys, extremely proud of our staff. These guys worked their tails off. They were, we mentioned this before, we were embarrassed in Hawaii. We thought we had a team that had great potential a year ago. We think we had potential going to this year, and these guys have worked to earn that. And, we've got a long way to go. We've got a lot of things to clean up. We still did not play very well. Didn't play excellently in any of the 3 phases. Offensively, we played very, very well, but not what we're capable of. Part of that was Boise. They played very, very hard and did some things. I'm just proud of our guys and proud of where we are right now, and know how much we have to improve. So it'll be great to see how much we improve this next week.
Football is such a tough sport. You normally don't see, or I don't think I've ever seen a coach, a player get emotional about a regular season win. You were very emotional last night after that game. Not afraid to show your emotions and showing, even though you've only been here a year and a half, how important this win was, not only for Fresno State, but everyone here in the Central Valley.
No doubt. I mean, since I've been here, everybody has talked about the Boise game. And our players have been wearing that for 7 years. And these guys, we love them. I mean, and they know that. And for me to see our guys have the success and finally, slay that dragon was such a sense of relief and just a joy for our guys. And, sorry I showed emotion, but I mean, it was important to me.
I thought you mentioned Derek's play, but Carl also had a big game on defense, and I thought Isaiah had some crucial 3rd down catches for your team. Just talk about everybody contributing.
That's what you have to do, in a team game. They were doing some things defensively to try to take Devontae away. A lot of times they were rolling their coverage to him. I've mentioned this, when you run a spread offense and you've got the weapons we've got, if you're doing that, then somebody else is going to get matched up one-on-one. And we were able to find that matchup. Our offensive staff does a great job there. And, I think Isaiah Burse is as good as anybody in our conference. As far as Carl, he plays with a lot of emotion. He's in a lot of ways the heart of our defense out there. And he's got some things to clean up. He's still young as a starter. We'll get him better, but I really like the intensity with which he plays and the fire with which he plays.
Did you have to say